Hey guys, this is the Mind of Lilith, and thank you for joining me today. I'm going to be sharing my thoughts about the most recent episode of Love and Marriage Huntsville, Season 4, Episode 8. I'm not going to be doing a full episode recap as there are plenty of other content creators who do a wonderful job of this. Instead, I'm going to focus on specific segments of the episode that I believe could be used as teachable moments for myself and the audience. For the new subscribers, before you make comments on my channel, make sure you watch my commentary from months back for my original channel, The Wounded Womb, Mind of Lilith, and also the commentary I made on this particular channel several months prior, because some of the points that I've been reading in my comment section, I've already stated. For me, it's difficult to keep repeating myself over and over and over again. But I have to remember that this is YouTube and there are new people coming onto my channel every single week, some of whom are not familiar with my platform. However, I will try to do my best to recount or recap as much as possible statements that I've made in the past about the cast. It seems like, to me, which is not a bad thing necessarily, a lot of the points that I have made on my channel, they have been disseminated across multiple platforms, which is a good thing, which means the message is getting out. And I appreciate my subscribers for sharing my content to other people, because I'm not doing it. Okay, so for this particular conversation, I'm going to talk about the scene at the Galentine's party. And Tisha made a statement to Melody about her choosing to have a baby by a man that she knew was having an affair for 3 years at this point. Martel had started cheating on Melody years ago, and she found out 2 years into the affair, and then she believed Martel's lies for the remaining 3 years of their marriage until she realized, oops, I cannot deal with this anymore. I'm out. So in season 1 and 2, a lot of women were calling Melody stupid for staying with Martel in spite of his cheating. I always knew that Melody was going to leave because Melody is a problem solver. A few months ago, I made some commentary. I never posted it on YouTube. I just have it in my folder somewhere. I made some commentary about problem solvers versus problem creators, right? And I talked about how some women are naturally problem solvers. What they'll do is they'll see something that's wrong and they'll do what they can to fix it without anybody asking them for permission to do so. And this is a trait that's very common in business women and businessmen. Business owners and entrepreneurs are usually good at problem solving, because when you're creating a business, whether it's a consulting business, whether you're offering a service or a product, you are here to solve problems for the general public that they don't want to do themselves, or they don't have the capacity to do themselves. So when Melody decided to reconcile with Martel for the show, right, or prior to the show, she thought that they had turned over a new leaf, okay, because she had already separated from him, right? Martel is a very convincing, very conniving, very disarming, and very charming, manipulative liar. So of course Melody would believe the husband that she was married to for over a decade, that she at the time had 3 children with, because she had a whole lot to lose if she was wrong. Melody did not want to be wrong as far as trusting her husband. The difference between Melody and Tisha is that Melody always had a plan to be out. I don't like it when women who are perpetual victims compare themselves to women who have a lapse in judgment because of other people's deception, and then they make a course correction later on to rectify the issue. Tisha and Melody aren't the same person, because Melody would not turn a blind eye to cheating in perpetuity. What happened was Martel lied to Melody. He's a very convincing liar. He's even convinced the cast to be friends with him or stay in his good graces after his mistress tried to throw a wrecking ball in their relationships. They're still cool with him. So Melody was married to this man for over a decade. They had 2 businesses together. She knew that if she had to leave this man, she would lose everything that she built. Melody lost a whole lot more She had a whole lot more to lose than every other woman on this show. She had more kids. She had more money. She had more ties with her husband than the other women on this show. So of course she was going to be hesitant about leaving, but that does not mean that she was going to be a fool in perpetuity. That does not mean that she was going to turn a blind eye to Martel cheating forever. It just means that as a problem solver, she was trying to find the best way to hold on to the things that she valued in her life, which was her marriage, her businesses, her family dynamic, the home, the children being together in the same household with the parents, all of that stuff. She did not want to let go of that. So as a problem solver, she said, okay, maybe the issue is me, right? Maybe the issue is the fact that I'm not giving him enough fellatio, because that's what he said he wanted. So Melody increased her fellatio services to her husband. That did not work. Then they had a baby together, right? She got pregnant. She considered aborting the baby, but she, wanted to do everything she could possible to make sure that she did everything in her power to hold on to her marriage. She was trying to solve the problems on her end as if she was the source of the problem. Now, everybody says it takes two to destroy a marriage. You're absolutely right. But Melody was a damn good wife. And I say this because Martel was even reminiscing about Melody on Mother's Day, even though he did it to take a dig at Coleslaw, or Arion, I'm sorry. Martel was reminiscing about the way that Melody would cook her food, because Melody was apparently a good cook, right? So she was cooking for the kids, cooking breakfast, cooking dinner, because they had school. I'm sure they had lunch made for them. She was helping to run two businesses, right? She was servicing him daily or nightly, giving birth to babies back to back, right? 4 babies. On top of that, she was also doing her own stuff when it comes to her businesses and managing her speaking engagements, starting new product lines and things like that. She was building her brand, working with her husband on building their companies together, cooking and cleaning and maintaining the house at the same time, and also servicing her husband when she had the energy to do so, right? But that still wasn't enough. And Melody knew everything she was doing, and she realized as a problem solver, oh, the problem ain't me. I can't fix this. Entrepreneurs, as I said earlier, are natural problem solvers. So if there is an issue within the company, there are 2 options. You either throw more resources at it, or you cut off the product and service, right? You try to throw more resources to improve or to mitigate the problem. For example, if there's an issue with staffing, a company will hire more people. They'll spend more money to hire more staff to deal with the workload, or to deal with helping the public, or offer more services to people to make the business run more efficiently. Or if the problem is poor customer service, if the problem is revenue losses, then they will cut staff, right? So there's always going to be an action that's taken when you are a problem solver. Melody had 2 choices. She had the choice to stay in her marriage and try to work it out with somebody who was pathologically insecure to the point where he was going to destroy his relationship for somebody he didn't even really want to be with. Or Melody could cut her losses and say, I'm going to preserve my peace and my integrity and my sanity. Even if it means I have to lose everything that I built, I have identified the source of the problem. Problem solvers are good at identifying the source of the problems in their life. The source of the problem in Melody's life was Martel, okay? So when she realized that he was the source of the problem, it wasn't the kids, it wasn't the businesses, it wasn't her friendships, it wasn't her competing obligations and engagements, okay? It was actually Martel. She said, I have to cut this man off because he's the source of the problem in my life. Tisha is the kind of woman, in my opinion, I could be wrong, that will blame the other woman for their man being attracted to them. Miss Wanda is the same way, in my opinion. There are some women who blame the other woman, who blame the side piece for their husband being trash. Instead of Melody taking her anger out on Arion, or the side piece, right? She said, it is not Arion's fault that Martel is trash. It is Martel's fault. So I'm going to divorce him. and allow him to be with who he says he wants to be with. Okay? So to solve this problem, if I'm the source of the problem in Martel's life, I'm going to remove myself from Martel's life because he's telling me that I'm the source of the problem. So to fix this problem too, I'm going to remove myself from his life so that he can live happily ever after with the woman he says satisfies him. So Melody was killing two birds with one stone when she divorced Martel, right? She was protecting herself from abuse, from disrespect, and from exploitation. And she was also protecting Martel because according to Martel, Melody was a source of his problem. So since Melody was the source of Martel's problem, she said, fine, I will make sure you can have a happy life and you can be with the person you want to be with, and you no longer have to torment me and abuse me for not being who you want me to be. Because Martel said in season 2, you're still not the woman I want you to be. So because I refuse to change for you, because I don't respect you enough to do so, because you haven't proven to me why I should do that, especially since I have the business license, the builder's license, and the acumen and the discipline to run the household and the businesses, I'm going to make your life easier. I'm going to solve your problem and my problem. Your problem is me, and my problem is that I'm married to a man who sees me as the source of all the problems in his life. So as a problem solver, I'm going to cut off this relationship. I'll cut all ties, okay? I'll discuss that in part 2 of my commentary as far as Martel saying that Melody won't talk to him anymore and so on. Okay, so Tisha cannot throw in Melody's face that she tried to work on her relationship because Melody has been fighting with Martel on camera since season 1. From season 1, on camera and off camera, Melody expressed her displeasure and her unhappiness and her anger towards Martel for being a cheater. Okay? She wasn't hiding that part. She wasn't protecting him and pretending that it was all good. No. From season 1, she was like, this is an ongoing issue in our relationship. I'm not going to try to hide it, because if I try to hide it, it means that I'm trying to protect his image, which means that I'm trying to stay married to him by protecting his lie. The fact that I'm willing to expose this affair means that this is non-negotiable. I'm warning you. Season 1, season 1.5, season 1, season 2, season 2.5. I'm warning you. She's been warning him since season 1. It wasn't like she was acting like it didn't happen. Because when women act like their man don't cheat, that means that they have no intention of leaving once they do find out. So let me pretend that he's not doing it. Because if I call him out, it means that I have to now take an action to solve the problem. What is the problem? Oh, my man's cheating. So how do you solve that problem? Do you blame yourself? Do you blame the side piece? Or do you blame your husband? Right? So if you're not trying to solve the problem, you're going to act like it doesn't exist. And this is why Melody had an issue with Tisha from season 1. It is fine to want to stay with your husband, but don't act like your husband hasn't been cheating, especially since I noticed a change in my husband once he started hanging out with your husband, and your husband has helped my husband to cheat on me. So of course, if your man is going to help somebody cheat, more than likely he's doing it too. He's just smarter about it. Marceau is a lot more respectful about his cheating than Martel was. In my opinion, Marceau doesn't cheat on Tisha because he dislikes her or he resents her. That was Martel's issue. He disliked and resented Melody for being who she is, who he could not be. Right? He cheats on Tisha because he's a dog. He's a chauvinist. Women are food for him. That's what I think. I could be wrong, but that's what I believe. So he's more respectful and smarter with his cheating than Martel was. So because he's smarter, Tisha can play dumb and play blind and then say to Melody, well, you stayed with your man for 3 years and had a baby by him after you knew he was cheating. That's not comparable to a woman acting like her man doesn't cheat. The reason why Tisha knows that Melody knew about the affair for 3 years at the very least is because Melody was upfront from day 1. She wasn't trying to hide it from nobody. She wasn't trying to play perfect, like she had the perfect relationship. She didn't do that at all. Unlike Tisha, who people don't know how long Marcel's been cheating because she refuses to either acknowledge that he ever has done that Or she knows but doesn't want anybody else to know, which is her business. It's her marriage. If she wants to stay married, then that's fine. But don't compare yourself to Melody, who left her husband and left a whole lot more than you have to lose. Don't put yourself in the same tax bracket as Melody, because Melody has a lot more courage than a whole lot of women out here. Tisha and Melody aren't the same. Not to say one is better than the other, but like I said, holding on to a cheating, raggedy man is not a badge of honor. To some women it is, but to women who are problem solvers like Melody, right? Which is why she goes out of her way to help her friends without them asking her. Staying with the problem, whether it's a bad business, bad friends, bad man, bad husband, bad whatever, that is a source of contention for them internally. Women and men who are problem solvers, they have to fix the issues around them. Okay? So like I said, I always knew Melody was going to leave Martel. Always knew. She needed to give herself time to get herself together. She divorced Martel, or filed for divorce from Martel 4 months after she had her 4th child. She was been done. But the baby kind of held it up, right? A 9-month pregnancy plus 4 months, that's a year and some change. Melody was been about to bounce. So a year and a half in, she was ready to go, but she got pregnant by Martel because Martel could not keep his hands off of her. And Melody, being the submissive wife that she was sexually to him, she let him get her pregnant multiple times after he cheated, after she found out he cheated. So her being the good submissive wife, she got pregnant again, right? Twice. And that prolonged the divorce process. If Melody had not had baby Melanie, or Sugar Mama, who she's happy to have, then she would have left Martel, I think, a year earlier. So again, don't put yourself in the same category. Don't say, well, you stay with this man for 3, as if she didn't leave him eventually. She didn't stay for 5, 10, 15, 20, 30 years like some women do. She left as soon as she realized she could not fix the problem. But because some women think that they're the problem, like Tisha, what can I do to fix this problem? What can I do to make you love me more? Because there are some women who think that they're the problem, they won't leave their man. They'll just blame themselves or their mistress for the man cheating, like Miss Wanda would do. It's that simple. This is why I don't put Melody in the same category as the other women. Yes, she has flaws like everybody else. Acknowledging her flaws does not mean that she's a bad person, doesn't mean that you don't like her or respect her. But some people get confused and think that in order for you to be a good friend to somebody, you have to agree with everything they do all the time. And that dehumanizes you and your friend. Anyway, I don't understand why some people keep saying that Melody knew her man was cheating and she chose to build the storyline off of him. Listen, of course she knew he was cheating. She said she found out right before the show. That never changed. Martel corroborated her storyline too and said, yeah, I started cheating 2 years before you found out. That's a whole relationship that went on behind her back. But what Melody did not do was act like it wasn't happening. She didn't run away from it because she knew that she was going to take definitive actions and steps towards resolving the problem one way or another. So now you can't judge her for solving the problem, for fixing the problem, actually. This is like somebody saying, yeah, it took you 3 years to fix your problem while you're still living with your problem. You can't compare yourself to me because I solved my problem. Tisha is still married to Marcel, who may be the source of her problems when it comes to the cheating rumors, right? So Melody doesn't have to worry about Martel cheating anymore. That's not her business. She doesn't care. She's actually relieved that she doesn't have to worry about a cheating man anymore. Cheating rumors, solitary vacations to Africa, a whole nother continent without your family. Melody does not have to worry about those types of issues anymore because she's no longer married to the problem. But Tisha is still married to the person who is a source of anxiety for her. And that's for her to deal with. She may feel more anxious without a man. Some women are like that. Some women feel lost and empty without a man. And some women, like Melody, do not feel lost and empty without a man, which is why many women call women like Melody masculine, because a woman is not supposed to be comfortable without a man, right? According to a lot of women. A lot of women think that only a man is allowed to not need a woman. Only a man is allowed to treat a woman like she's a disposable object. Okay? But guess what? Women like Melody and myself, we don't see men as the end all be all. If my life is miserable because you're here, you got to go. I'm not going to change myself because guess what? Before you came in the picture, I was doing good, right? I was happy, at peace. I wasn't fighting. I wasn't arguing with anybody. I had my own money. I had this, that, and the third. You come along as drama. So if I begin to put the pieces together and associate with you with drama and anxiety and problems in my life, I'm going to get rid of you, not me. A lot of women get rid of themselves to hold on to their man. Melody said, no, I'm going to get rid of you and the businesses and the marriage to maintain myself and my sanity, which is what women like Tisha and Miss Wanda do not understand, and they try to weaponize against her. Melody's the reason why she got divorced. Melody is this, that, and the third. She's the reason why Martell can't stand her. If she had done this, then her husband wouldn't have cheated. A lot of women have the same dumbass sentiment. So if a woman running 2 businesses, having 4 babies back to back, cooking and cleaning in the household, sucking on your penis every other night, forgiving you after you cheat, if that's not enough to hold on to a man, then guess what? Fuck these men. Okay? And that's the attitude Melody has. So you cannot compare the two. You can't say nothing about me because you stayed with your man for 3 years after. Not okay. And personally, I think that married women have a bit more leeway when it comes to being foolish for a man, for their husband, because they have a lot to lose. They've built a whole life together with their partner. If it's a girlfriend, that's different. But a wife, I can understand. A wife wanted to give her husband ample chances. Just like I can understand Tisha wanted to give Marceau ample chances. What I don't understand is Tisha acting like it's impossible for Marceau to be a cheater if he helped his best friend basically to cheat on his wife for several years. And the best friend, who's known for dropping dime when he's against the wall, when his shit is exposed, Martell said that Marceau had 20 girlfriends. That's his ride or die road dog partner. If Tisha doesn't believe Melody or can't believe Melody, she should at least listen to Martell. I mean, she likes him more anyway, so listen to what Martell said. Now, what you do about it is on you. If you want to solve the problem of him cheating and being depressed and needing to go on vacation by himself without you, then you can solve that problem or not. So yeah, that's all I want to say about this particular segment. Some women are problem solvers again, and some women are problem creators, and some women are problem managers. Tisha's a problem manager. I'll blame myself. I'll get, surgeries and things like that. I'll cry and I'll whine and I'll ask for attention and, complain about certain things instead of seeing that, you know what, I'm not happy here. Why am I not happy in this relationship? Is it because of me or somebody else? If it's somebody else, I can solve that problem by getting rid of that person. But to do so will require a lot of courage. And sometimes you want to hold the family together for the kids. So I can't judge women for holding on to their husbands because they have a lot to lose. This is, again, is why I give a lot of respect to Melody. And I would be insulted if I was Melody, if Tisha considered herself to be the same as her. You can't judge my marriage and what I'm doing and me because you stayed with a man for 3 years and you had another baby by him. Now, if Melody had left immediately, they would have blamed her for that too and said, she didn't give Martell a chance. Everybody makes mistakes. All men need a second chance. Nobody's perfect, right? If Melody would have left the first time she found out he was cheating. But because she worked it out, it's still her fault. You can't judge anybody else because you stayed with your cheating husband for 3 years and had a baby by him. It ain't the same thing, boo, because I'm not in the same place you are right now. I left. I solved the problem. You're managing your problem. All right, guys. Thank you for listening. Please like, share, and subscribe, and I will speak to you soon.